speaks truth to your heart. Through every shift, every change, every moment you face, he guides you with purpose, with power, with grace. So step into your season, step into your light. O.D.A.R is here to help you rise and rewrite your life, changing lives, building humanity. This is O.D.A.R, where transformation meets destiny.
Hey, welcome back, fellas and ladies. Y'all welcome back. Women and children, people of all groups and nations. Welcome back. We have a special guest. She was so good last time, and everybody loved her so much. We wanted double for our money, even though she's doing it for free. So it's Cliff Williams, your life coach, and we have
Dr. Network-O.D.A.R.
Dr. Network-O.D.A.R. And Dr. Network-O.D.A.R, since I last seen you, right? You have had a nice event that she invited me to. Unfortunately, I was unable to make it, but I heard it was a blast.
It was a blast. You missed it. The Rise Women Conference, it was transformative this year. It was really focusing in on healing, inspiring hope, and a lot of women got healed at that conference. And that was what was really shooting for. And I have to give shout outs to all my speakers on the platform, to Dr. Jackie Covington, all the way from Fayetteville, North Carolina. She did her thing speaking on being relentless and how to overcome. One of the things she had stated that still sticks to me today is it may be delayed, but not denied. So even though things are delayed, you're not denied from it.
Keep bringing it down. Delayed and denied.
Yeah. Delayed but not denied. So you might ask for something, and whatever you're asking for might be delayed, but that doesn't mean that you're denied. That doesn't mean that you're not going to get it.
Okay.
So I really, really took a lot from what she said.
Okay.
Then we had Elder Marva Alexander, all the way from Newport News.
Oh, Marva.
Yeah.
Peace out to Marva.
Yeah. So she did Earth's thing, which she had to let it ignite. So she even played the song, Won't Somebody Catch On Fire? And that little spark that you have inside of you, someone else can come along to help ignite you, to blaze a trail path for others to follow. Okay. And then Dr. Shannon from the Tidewater area. I don't know if you ever got a chance to hear Dr. Shannon Harrington. She shot it down with self-confidence and really telling women how it's not selfish to take care of yourself first. And she asked us one question. She said, when you think about the oxygen mask and it falls down from the sky when you're in a plane, who would you put the mask on first? And so many women in the room thought about everybody else before they thought about themselves. So how can you help somebody else when you can't breathe yourself?
Interesting. Yeah, that's very interesting. Yeah. Especially coming from a woman's point of view, because y'all are natural nourishers. You know what I'm saying? And for y'all to give that oxygen mask up, or just lay down your life for a friend.
That's it.
That's powerful. Like you said, I missed it. I'm gonna try my best not to miss the next one.
But I had to give a shout out to my ladies. They did their thing. This
big shouts, ladies.
Was a powerful platform.
And that was Dr.
Shannon Carrington.
Big shout, Shannon Carrington.
Sharon Harrington.
And Marva.
And Dr. Jackie Covington from North Carolina.
Peace out, Dr. Jackie Covington. Yeah. So what's next?
What's next is wow. Well, this whole conference was a prelude to the release of my third book. So my third book is called Exonerated, The Pathway to Freedom. Now, this book has been in the works for years. It wasn't just something that happened overnight. It was actually something that God had me walk through physically before I could birth the book. And when I first started writing the book, it was basically through a lot of journals and a lot of trauma and different things that I experienced, and finding it difficulty forgiving. So the first title of the book was Forgiveness is a Process. That was the beginning. But as it started evolving, coming up on this year, I started doing a poll testing people about the title. I'm like, hey, if you heard this title, would you purchase the book? And I realized so many people had so many different views on what forgiveness was. Some people said, well, why do I have to forgive when I haven't did anything to nobody? Why don't people come and apologize? Other people was like, well, I have forgiven, so What's the process? I've done that.
Mm-hmm.
But my biggest question to most people is, I get that you've forgiven others, but what about yourself?
Mm-hmm.
And have you ever heard people say, I can forgive everybody else, but it's hard for me to forgive myself?
Mm. Hey, Kevin, keep that book back up there. Yeah, this book right here is Exonerated, Pathway to Freedom. And Nikki said it was building up for years.
It was building up for years.
So it sounded like that rap song. This took years to build.
It did.
So this is going to be a classic right here.
It is.
Okay. This is going to be a classic. And y'all see it. And if we want to purchase this book, how do we find this book?
It actually will be released on Barnes & Noble online as well as Amazon in September 2026. Stay tuned. It will be out. And I'm excited for it.
September 26th. So with this book coming out, will the other ones come out at the same time? Or?
Oh, my other ones are already out.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes, I have two other books. I'm Crying, Are You Listening? That actually won an International Impact Award. And so I was flown out to Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona, to actually get presented an award there.
Oh, yeah.
And then my other one, 6 Ways to Conquer Your Fear, I was getting a global gold award from Amazon with that one. But this book that you just showed also has a workshop that goes with it. So it's not a book that you just read, but it's a book that after you read it, then you have to ask yourself, am I ready to do the work? And that hence we do have a workshop. And the workshop through Exonerated is showing you how to heal from the inside out. So you can actually walk in true freedom.
So it's first is like you said, accepting it and this is it right here, healing from the inside out. And so first is, I guess, it's like a mental contract saying,
exactly, okay,
I'm gonna accept this, now I'm ready.
Exactly.
Okay, that's all right. And you said this one has already been out. No, Exonerated comes in September.
Yeah, Exonerated and the workshop is released in the same month.
Okay.
So you have people that have already said, hey, I'm ready to learn how to start healing from the inside out. They might look at doing the workshop first. You have other people that still kind of iffy and like, I'm good. Then read the book first.
Okay.
And then once you read the book, it'll open your eyes to actually ask yourself, are you really good? And the thing about this, when I kind of switched it, because my book was focused on different metaphors. And so when I looked at this and me and my Heavenly Father was having a talk, I was like, okay, how can I interact my previous walk with this? And so he said, think about the last thing you just finally went through. He says, what was the biggest dog and pony show for you that you can really say you had to really, really dig deep to forgive people? And that was the last betrayal that I faced when business partners that I know I lifted up from the ashes to bring along with me to turn around and betray me. And then I ended up having to do 19 months.
That sounds good to say, right? I was about to say that, right? I was going to take it back because I was thinking when you were speaking that you was talking about recently.
Yeah.
But you talking about past and present enemies. They're not your enemies, but evidently you're their enemy.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so, and you said, learn to forgive yourself. I don't understand learning to forgive myself because to me, I look at it like, I mean, it's good. What you're saying is true.
Right.
But to me, I look at it as like, oops, I had a boo-boo. Now I got to step it up more. Is that forgiving yourself? Or is that holding yourself accountable? I mean, what would that be?
Yes. So forgiving yourself is like this, because most of the time when we say we forgive others, I take my first one, which is, I'll take it back from my first trauma, which was being child molested. Okay. I eventually had to go and talk to that person, but I could not fully forgive that person until I first found out what was I so angry about. Was I angry about my innocence being stolen? Was I angry about who was the person who actually stole my innocence? What exactly was I angry about? I wasn't really angry at that person. I was angry at myself because I looked at myself, which was my body betraying me. And people are like, well, why do you say that? Because my body reacted to something that was wrong. So something that I knew mentally was wrong, my body still reacted. So something that was wrong and bad still felt good. That's confusing to a child. So now you're growing up with this mental battle that my body is a betrayal. So now you lose respect for yourself. You lose respect for your...
To just separate all those emotions, but bring them back together. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So that's kind of deep because it's like me, I it's like I only feel one way at a time. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But to be able to, like, it's like having a plate of food and just going right behind each other and just tasting all of them and getting 4 or 5 different flavors.
And believe me, it ain't come overnight. It took years, and it actually took me becoming in tune to my Heavenly Father. That's why in the book it talks about the very first forgiveness that you have to accept. And the very first forgiveness that you have to accept is God's forgiveness when he first offered it. And he offered it when he sent his only son to the cross. That was his way of offering us forgiveness. He didn't ask us to apologize for rejecting him or for being disobedient. He set up here and he created a strategy and a plan for us to have a right back to him, all because he loved us. So how deep is your love for someone else? If God can do it for you, why can't you do it for others? In the first place, you need to start with, after you receive that, then you got to forgive yourself.
True.
Because it's the second law, the second commandment out there. After you love God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, love your neighbor as you love yourself.
Right.
But if I'm not loving myself, if
right.
I don't have respect for myself, how can I love and have respect for others? If I'm walking in unforgiveness of me, who's the person I live with 24/7, I can't never get rid of me. But if I look at that person in a mirror that stares back at me, and this is one thing I used to always ask my kids, it's not about what mom say. Look at that person in the mirror. If you could take that person that's looking back at you out of the mirror, how would you treat that person? That's the only person that matters. And that's what most people not think about. And that's what the healing process is all about. Yes, showing people how to break it down, showing people how to identify those emotions. Because how many times you heard somebody say, I feel some type of way. You made me feel some type of way. Well, how do you really feel? Let's get to the root of it. Are you angry? Are you disappointed? Right. Tell me how you feel, because now we can address that emotion. Because once you get healed from that emotion, then the event is just something that happened.
True indeed. And that's deep, like you said. When you took it to another level, to me, when you said somebody saying you make me feel some type of way.
Yeah.
Actually, you already feel some type of way.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So you don't know what you feel or how to express it. So you thinking it's me making you feel some type of way.
Exactly. So they reflect it.
Yeah. So actually, it's just some kind of pass the buck.
That's it.
I'm passing the buck to you while I'm angry.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm your excuse of why you're angry.
Exactly.
So every time you see me, you're angry. No, you just angry, period.
You're just angry. And it goes deeper than that. And that's why I tell people you don't want to miss Exonerated. Exonerated is gonna open your eyes to so much stuff. So in September, you got to get the book. Okay. Exonerated, Pathway to Freedom. If you're ready to be free and break those chains and strongholds that's been holding you back from the true you, get the book.
How do we get it again? One more time.
You actually will be in Amazon as well as Barnes & Noble online. It'll be there. It will be there in September.
Okay. So y'all heard it. Go to Barnes & Noble. Go to, I guess, get you some coffee. Sit back, get some free Wi-Fi. Start reading the book.
That's it.
I think that's what I'm going to do. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I can stay up that way.
Oh, it's going to open your eyes to a lot of stuff. Yeah. It's kind of go back to, I'm telling my age now, but it goes back to Arsenio Hall when he say things that make you say,
Okay. And you really got things that make you say, because, you know what I'm saying, we don't know Arsenio's past, but you've been kind of transparent, you know what I'm saying? In the second show, the first show, this is the second show, so she's been transparent to you.
It's so funny because my husband says, you know what, you're a lot better at this forgiveness than I am. And even the people that I had dinner with them during the process of me being investigated, the people that just straight out lied, we went to dinner and we're sitting there and I'm just watching them just throw the stones, the execution. You did this and you did that and that. And I listened to everything they said. And after they said everything they had to say, I didn't justify it. I didn't explain myself. I looked at them and I said, you know what? I want to say I deeply am sorry for the way that y'all took that. That was not my intent. My intent was to do this, but I understand we're not judged by our intent by other people. We are judged by our actions. So if my actions showed you the outcome that you're seeing, I am deeply sorry for that, and I hopefully you can be able to forgive me. And you know what? All is forgiven with you, because I know you had to do what you had to do, but it's okay. And I walked away free. Like they looked at me like, huh? Because they was just ready for the argument, the back and forth. Yeah. I don't have time for that.
That's right.
Because my thing is this. One thing that I look at, I will not let a person, a thing, or any situation block my blessing. And if I'm walking unforgiveness, then I block the flow of God's blessing for me. I know it's not denied, but I don't need nothing to delay it.
I know that's right. That's right. No delays.
No delays.
No delays. Hurry your father.
Exactly.
Hurry father with the blessings.
I don't need no delays. That's right. And that's what unforgiveness causes. It causes the delays. It causes the blockage. Things where you could have been somewhere 10 years ago, you're now delayed because of other things that got in your way and distracted you. I don't got time for them distractions. Right. Let you look, you're like a speck on my thing. Ooh. And my husband reminded me when we first got together, he gave me this book because I was a person, I used to always sweat the small stuff. And so he gave me.
Peace out to Amina. That's what she always say. Don't sweat the small stuff. Amina.
Yeah. So he gave me that book. He says, you need to read this book. And when I read that book, it was an eye opener. It changed my life. It was like, don't sweat the small stuff. Everything is small stuff.
Yes. That's the book. Okay.
Don't man that jank. I was like, yep, that's what I need to do. Everything is small stuff. Everything is small.
We me and Dr. Dre, we had and Amina, we had a radio show. And so Amina, she will always say that. She said her mother told her, used to tell her that, don't sweat the small stuff. And she will always tell us that. And for real, it helped me get by on a lot of things. Yeah. Not, you know what I'm saying? So, and like you said, I mean, life is too short to be sweating small stuff. And we need, like you said, we need that flow of blessings. Because of that flow of blessings, it's healing, it's love. It's, you know, and who wants to be worried all day, miserable? It's not worth it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm loving that, Nikki, and the forgiveness thing. I'm loving the forgiveness because a lot of us, like you said, dwell in unforgiveness. You know, just want to be mad and want to walk around, or just why just push past the boat why they're not successful. Exactly. And the reason they're not successful is because they're hindering. They're delaying their own blessings.
And that's one of the things about the workshop that we're gonna dive deep into is what's blocking you from your true blessings. What is the block? Because I realized over time, if you really talk to someone that became an alcoholic or that got strung out on drugs and everything like that, that's just the top surface. That's the fruit that was buried from the root. Let's get to the root. I always tell people I'm that root killer. I want to get to the root because if I get to the root and fix the root, then the fruit that comes from that new root is going to be blessed anyway. It's going to be better than before. Can you get a person healed from alcoholism? Yeah, let's kill the root. Then the fruit of alcoholism will go away. The person that's strung out on drugs, yes, let's kill the root. That way the flavor or the taste for drugs will go away. Because it's deeper than just, oh, I like the taste. It's deeper than you're trying to forget something. What is that you're trying to forget? Let's identify that and let's get you healed from that. And then you can see your way clear and a pathway to your true future. That's why, hence, the name of my business, which is Nike Voice, is all about showing people how to reclaim their voice. My voice was taken from me as a little girl. And when you grow up in the era we grew up in, what did adults tell us?
Mind your own business.
Yeah, stay out of grown folks' business. Yeah. Be seen, but not heard. Yeah. You know, and that took me for years. That took me a long way. And what I mean by a long way, because I actually practiced it, and when I practiced it, I stayed around adults and my great grandparents and listened to their conversations. You get a lot of wisdom listening to older people conversations. So I took that and I said, okay, I'll be seen, but I ain't gonna be heard. So so you hear conversations and you grow and you learn from them. But I also realized that through all that wisdom, you gain a voice. And through that voice, you need to utilize your voice to help others. But through that, my voice also got silenced through the molestation. You can't tell nobody. So now you're suffering in silence.
Mm. Now I want to go back on something you said, right? Because what you said, it was like a double standard, right? Okay, it's wisdom, like we hear from, our grandfathers, grandparents, grandmothers. I say grandfathers because I used to always listen to what my grandfather used to say. My grandmother, she was so sweet. Wasn't too much teaching. It was more love than teaching.
Right.
But with the grandfather, it was more teaching and constructive criticism. You know what I'm saying? Boy, don't do that right there, because I'm gonna show you what's gonna happen. Right. You see that over there? This will happen to you. And you kind of learn the hard way, right? But you learn. You know what I'm saying? But it would have been a little more easier, I think, to learn if, even though it was metaphorically speaking, it was more shown to you. But like you said when he said, be seen but not heard. Right. So that's kind of slavery type thing. Right. Too. Like today, you know what I'm saying? Somebody come through the neighborhood, shooting up the block. Little kid get killed. Is that snitching and we tell? I mean, is it snitching? No. Is it we need to catch this, whoever the defendant is or the suspect is, because it just killed an innocent child? That's true. So it's like, okay, if we try not to be heard, do we just, you know what I'm saying? I mean, how do we save our community? Right. If we just being seen and not heard, you know what I'm saying?
Well, the biggest thing about that is, one, we need to get out of our community the competing. And see, that's one thing that has been able to use against us. Naturally, we are competitors. We love to compete. That's what makes our community so great. You put something in front of us, we gonna show we can achieve it. It's just naturally a part of us, of who we are. So what the enemy had did, they came in and they made that our strength. They made it our weakness against each other. And so we play our strength against each other versus taking our strength and combining it. Instead of saying, hey, there's a winner and a loser, say, hey, we can both win. Because if I take your strength might be my weakness. My weakness might be your strength. But if I overlook your weakness and you overlook my weakness, and we combine our strength and they compatible to each other, guess what? We both win. We both can get to wealth. We both can get to the finish line together. But what we've been taught is that there has to be a winner and a loser. So now it's like, if this person get there before I do, then hey, I'm completely out. No, but that's what we've been taught. So now we live in this mindset that it's a crab type mentality, where hey, we can't celebrate if someone is successful in our community. We will celebrate the other communities before we celebrate our own. And I'm like, okay, well, how did we get this all twisted? And if we look at it, and I always go back to history. If you go back to history and actually read and look, who's the wealthiest community? We are. But they make us think we're the poorest. Think about when we boycott the bus stations, the buses. Who lost money? We didn't. We kept money in our community. And so this is what I want to show and teach our community again. If we combine our resources again, other cultures do it. They have businesses to hire their own. Where's our business?
And they put their business right on our block.
Exactly. Because they know who's the wealthiest community out there.
And you know what tripped me out, and I'm victim of it. Is we sound like everybody but us. As a Mexican at the store, hey amigo, que pasa amigo? Yeah. If it's whoever it is, we try to sound like them instead of sound like us. We hate each other. We hate us, but we love them. We love their culture.
And that's where the healing got to start. The healing has to start with us, forgiving yourself. And then moving on to others. You can't, like it says, it starts at home first. always tell people it starts in our community first. We have $74 trillion that enter into our community on a monthly basis, but only 1% of that go to Black-owned businesses. Ask yourself why. That's stuff you have to ask yourself. If we pull they did a poll on it. If us as African pull all our resources together, they said we have enough resources to fund 4 continents. That lets you know how powerful our resources are.
And we turn to gatekeepers. You know, we want to, like you say, keep each other out. We keep each other out, and then with the people that's in communities, urban communities, they keep each other in with the crab pot.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So those that are wealthy know a hint or a way, have knowledge and info. They gatekeep and keep the gate closed and keep others out. But those that's in the communities, the crab bucket, and we keep each other in. You know, instead of like you said, we don't celebrate one of our peers or siblings going to college.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Or just graduate from high school. Anything. It's always, hey, only reason he did that because it's this and that. Because
it's always justification.
Yeah, it's justification.
To make you feel not bad about yourself or your situation. And I always tell people that's where the healing begins, because you have to get to the root of why that feeling is coming up inside of you.
Yeah.
You know, what are you overlooking about you? Because the same thing he did, you can do it too. It's not nothing. What somebody else does not prevent you from doing it. Yeah. You can do it too. It's no shortage. That's why I keep trying to let people know. It's no shortage in anything. Even like, only thing that I always tell people, even if you use something that you've gotten from somebody else, sometimes it is better not to have to invent the wheel. But the only thing I always tell people, give that person who planted the seed in you the credit.
Yeah.
You know, it's okay to say, hey, this person walked me through this process that made me find who I really was, or helped me find my identity, and I loved it so much that this is what I'm adopting.
Also, you gotta wear your own crown.
That's
your own thorns, because you don't know what a person went through to get those thorns, those crowns. You know what I'm saying? What kind of thorn or what they're dealing with right now, you know? And that's the thing, right? You know, so I heard so many people say, you know, they know I went to prison, and you know, I said, okay, he's a bail bondsman now, and this and that, whatever, and they don't know. It was so discouraging. It was so discouraging to get the turn down, to get when you got to say this, you got to be a Muppet baby until you get that. You know what I'm saying? So you got to do this, and you know what I'm saying. So, and that's why I understand you when you say you were sitting in front of those people, and you've been conditioned too in a good way. You've been conditioned to just deal with stuff, you know what I'm saying? And to know how to accept one's ignorance.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And so, and even with going through that, sometimes it can be so a headache.
Well, the biggest thing is hurtful when you know your heart. And see, that was my biggest thing. Sitting in that courtroom on trial and looking at individuals that you know at 3:00 in the morning, that individual called me, you know, because her daughter was in an abusive situation and she knew I came out of it, and her daughter won't listen to her. So she's saying, hey, can you come over and talk to my daughter? And I'm saving her daughter from getting her head blown off. But now you're on the stand saying, hey, this is what she did to me. Hold on. What happened to the good I did? You know, but because you had one person who intimidates you to come up here and lie and say, hey, this is what we need you to do, you couldn't stand your ground. You couldn't stand on truth to really be able to have this person's back that you know that no matter what showed up for you. That's what I had to swallow and get over. That's what that forgiveness process I had to walk through. Even while I was in prison, I had to see those faces over and over again running through my head, listening to them on the stand lying, and I'm like, dang. And then you running down your track record on, dang, I did this, I did that, and you're checking it off, and you like, what wrong did I do? You know, and then you listen to what the judge say, talking about the only thing you're guilty of is taking our secrets and teaching it to the wrong people. I'm like, what? Because I studied your playbook and knew exactly the law and then decided to teach that to my black and brown, I'm sitting here guilty of that.
So powerful. Let's go to the break. And we'll come back to that. Yeah, she did say she went to prison. We'll come back to that. All right.
You're locked in with street grind entertainment, repping Texas with non-stop heat. We bringing you the hottest music, exclusive videos, fire podcasts, and radio that never sleeps. This ain't just entertainment, it's a movement. Independent artists, real stories, major vibes, and nothing but straight pressure. So buckle up, lock in, and let the grind take over. Street grind entertainment, where the streets meet the spotlight and the
Welcome back. Here we go again with Nikki Toll, your author, your doctor, your finisher. Nikki, she's an inspiring young woman. She's been through all walks of life, all different type of avenues. I mean, she just was just saying, talking about the prison. Yes, that pretty face. She's been in prison too, right?
Yes.
So I'm gonna let Nikki finish expounding on what you just expounded on about when you went to prison and your enemies and the people that looked in your face and how the hurt was.
The hurt was huge. And the biggest one is before I went to prison, the fight before that was when I took my case to the heavenly courts. And all 3 times I actually hear your innocence has been restored. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm not taking this plea agreement because when I go to court, my innocence is going to be restored. Oh, no, I get there. And then that's when my Heavenly Father said, you know, you're going to prison. I was like, excuse me? And this is on the stand when I'm defending myself. And so at that point, he said, from this point only, every question you get asked, only thing you can say is, I can't recall. No matter how much I tried to say anything but that, only thing that could come out my mouth is, I can't recall.
And that's what the Father told you.
That's what the Heavenly Father told me. And I'm asking him, I'm like, but why? He says, because I have an assignment for you to do that only you can do and you can't even tell your family about it.
So actually you couldn't defend yourself.
I really couldn't.
So that was like the perfect crime.
Perfect.
It was a perfect crime because, like you said, he had a task for you.
Exactly.
And so you had to obey the will of God.
I had to.
And that was like not remembering.
Not
recalling.
Not recalling anything.
That's deep.
It boy, when I say real deep, and then when and the funny part about it, I knew he was going in with me because when I got off the stand, he told me what jail I was going to. So I looked at my attorney and I said, I'll see you tomorrow at Tidewater Regional Jail.
So, okay, that's right. It's federal. So you didn't go back to... After trial, you get transferred or something like that.
No. As the trial...
As a state,
okay, well, federal, if you're on a bond, they can continue your bond and you can do self-surrender. But because my assignment started at Tidewater Regional, I couldn't go back home. Even though I had a squeaky clean record, squeaky clean while I was on pretrial, squeaky clean, even my pretrial officer spoke up on my behalf on how stellar I was and she's the best I've ever had and all. Oh, no. They detained me right after. And my attorney was like, I don't understand. But I did. So I said, it's okay. I said, you going to meet me tomorrow at Tidewater Regional Jail. He looked at me. He said, did you see your paperwork? I said, no, I just know.
So before this time in prison, have you ever been incarcerated before that?
Yes.
Okay, and before that time, have you ever been incarcerated before that time?
No. Well, the first time was only 3 days, and that was because they didn't give me a bond when I went in.
Same charge?
No.
Okay, and reason I'm just asking because you know what I'm saying, because I'm just thinking how traumatized it must have been for it to just go to jail.
Put it this way, you're looking at 3 days in just jail versus, hey, you about to do this time.
Yeah.
It's totally different.
Yeah.
You know, you just stay over the weekend because you didn't get a bond.
Yeah.
But those charges go away. So you never do prison time.
Yeah.
You know, that's totally different than, hey, now you in trial.
Yeah.
You see the monkey and pony show. But then not only that, you listening to the daddy who's telling you, no, you got an assignment to do.
Yeah.
Don't say nothing. And I'm like, hey, this is really like in the Bible when they said, hey, don't say nothing. You know, and I'm sitting there like, I couldn't even tell my family. And they consoling me, and it's like, well, look, your performance is not predicated on what God gonna do. My brother telling me this too shall pass, and I'm sitting here.
You don't want no scriptures right there.
Sometimes
you don't want no scriptures.
It's like, right now, I ain't trying to hear none of that.
I'm pretty sure Jesus ain't want no scripture when he was going to that. You know what I'm saying?
You know, I'm like, I already know what's about to happen, and y'all, you know, and I can't say nothing. I'm just looking at them like, you just don't know.
Yeah.
So, but the funny part about it is that the marshals did not want to drive me all the way out to Suffolk. So I literally watched them change my paperwork. They crossed out Tidewater Regional and put Norfolk.
I mean, I guess it's the task. I guess everybody was working.
Norfolk was not my task. That was not my assignment.
They want your assignment.
So when we drove there, right? The ride was too quick. I'm sitting in the back. I'm meditating. I said, okay, God, you really got to talk to me on this one because I ain't understanding. So I'm meditating and doing my breathing to keep myself calm. And the ride was too short. And I was like, where we at? And he said, oh, we at Norfolk General. I said, oh, they're not going to take me. And he's like,
did you know? This was the father was telling me.
I just felt that. I was like, they're not going to take me because he already told me where I was supposed to be.
Oh, so you see what?
Yeah, I'm going to Tidewater Regional. And they tried to take me to Norfolk. And I was like, they ain't going to take me. It's in the middle of COVID. So the nurse comes out and she tests me. Blood pressure is through the roof. Temperature is way over. She told them to take me to the ER and don't bring me back until a doctor has cleared me because, she says her blood pressure is so high she's in stroke mode. We can't take her.
This all part of the plan.
It's all part of the plan. I'm going to tell you.
Glory.
So when after she said that and gave them the slip, they said, we're not spending time with her at the ER. We're not doing that. So the guy said, I got a friend at Tidewater Regional. Let me give him a call, see if he'll take her. We just won't tell him her numbers. So that's what he did. He made the phone call. They had to take me to Tidewater Regional. When I got to Tidewater Regional, they redid my vitals. How come everything went back to normal instantaneously? Blood pressure normal, temperature normal. And I looked at him. I said, I'm right where I'm supposed to be.
Boy. Hey, you talking about God's will?
Yep.
When you talking about his will, that's, I'm going to tell you, I mean, it's amazing what he can do. And when he show up in your life, you have no other choice but to perform.
Just to do.
You do what he say do.
That's it.
Because he's showing you things like as if it was the first century Christians. You know what I'm saying? Like he's showing up. Like I'm showing up. I'm showing my face.
Yes.
Like I'm showing my face through your blood work.
He said, you want to know? I told God before when this all started, I went to my heavenly closet and I said, God, look. I said, I'm frustrated and I'm sick and tired of said knowledge. I said, I'm tired of everybody else giving me their theories, their thoughts, their definition, their breakdown. I'm tired of said knowledge. I want revealed knowledge. I said, so if you want me to understand you and what you want me to do, then you reveal your truth to me. You said, ask and it shall be. So I said, I'm asking. And he showed up and he said, here you go.
Here you go. Right back at you. You know what I'm saying? He's a ask me God.
That's
you know what I'm saying? You ask me. And I tell you, I let you know. Like you said,
and I went through
you
his
command
boot camp. I went through his boot camp and I tell people now I'm at the point I know that I know. So what I teach and show others, it ain't from no theory. It ain't from no books. It's from real life experience, from seeing it with these two eyes. When I say I prayed over a female in prison and talked to the death angel and told the death angel to step back and watch life come back into a female body, I saw with these eyes. You can't take that from me. And if you ever speak to that lady, you can't take that experience from her. because she knew she was gonna be dead. And she told the girls, she was like, go down there and get the preacher lady, because that was my nickname. And we're on TV, like they usually do to people to shame you or whatever. So I said, what, you saw me on TV or whatever about my charges? She's like, no, you ain't that famous yet. So I was like, oh, okay. I said, so how do you know me? She's like, the Holy Spirit told me who you are. She said, you're a messenger from God sent here to change stuff here at this jail. I said, what? It shocked me. I'm like, and this was an officer never met, never talked to. She just said, I know. She says, you don't realize it, but she says, wherever you walk, there's a halo over you. I said, I don't see it. She says, I see it. And she literally sent me prisoners that was just coming in. She's like, hey, I need you to talk to this young girl. She needs healing. So in prison, I was walking people through this healing process. And I'm literally seeing light bulbs where there was no light in people's eyes. I'm literally seeing light bulbs come on. I'm seeing women before my eyes get transformed. I'm seeing the weight of all this that they carry lifted up. One lady girl who was in and out of prison since she was 16, for the first time after she met me, to really see her get released, go home, and to this day I'm in contact with her and she's still free. That's all I need to know. Because she was using it as a revolving door. But I have letters from these women
over the prayer, because y'all have the toughest cat fights, because we all hate.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? But I can just imagine, because I know when I was in prison, calling men together, some was like, I ain't playing with God, or some was like, just they didn't want to do that in front of their whoever their I guess buddy or enlightener, whoever they was dealing with. They didn't want it. It was shameful, unless somebody died in their family, got hurt. That's when they'll come. But I could just imagine how that would be like, to get women together, because and getting men together to praise God is an awesome thing. You know what I'm saying? But in prison, in the midst of the cat fight.
Oh, believe me, I had to come
out there as yourself to stand in the gap and say, no, this was going on. This peace right here.
That's it.
That's strong. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't care what gang you in, or who your OG is, or who your CG is, or whatever. This was going down right here.
It sure is.
In the midst of the middle of chaos, because you basically land on the tombs while you're in prison. The next step is death. Is death. So for somebody to stand out and say, this is how it's going down. It's got to be the Father. It's Yahweh always in the midst, right then and there. Because, to call that shot, because all it took is somebody to call you out. But there was no worry. There was no worry about that. You know what I'm saying? Because if somebody call you out, then you like, okay, you going to say something, then it might cause that person to react. But at the time, you're like, this is what it is.
But the point about it, you got to know how to bring peace. In the midst. Some people add fire to fire, but when you can have fire and you're the person that bring the water to the fire, it's totally different. That's
what's up. That's right.
I always tell people, fire can burn, but when you bring that water and you can actually hear a person, because a lot of times people are angry because they feel like they're misunderstood and not heard. My thing is, I want to hear you. You have a voice.
That's right.
Tell me how you feel.
That's right.
Your feelings matter. You're not wrong for being angry. And I'm not here to tell you that you're wrong for being angry. But I'm here to tell you, you can control that anger. You don't have to act out. You don't have to turn to violence. Let's find another way.
That's right.
But
That's right.
It.
That's right.
Because most people are like, oh, you don't have the right. You can't do. No, they can. It's okay to be disappointed. It's okay, to feel this way or that way. It's what happens is when people try to shut your feelings down, like they have no validation to it, and they do. And once you tell a person that, how can they argue with you?
Yeah, that's right.
I look at them straight in the eye. Yeah, you valid. I validate you. You have every right to be angry. If I was you, I would be angry too. Then I look at that person. So why did you do that? And now this person is not upset because they're like, wow, I was heard and no one didn't tell me that I was wrong. So now instantaneously you earn respect from that person. I ain't have to get all riled up and everything. I just let her know you're validated. I see you. Once she knows she's seen and heard, guess what? I instantly earn her respect.
That's right. And it's like you say, a person don't know you're wrong because the person, the people that you're around is not telling you. You got a whole bunch of yes men, so you actually thinking that you might be right.
Right, exactly.
And I like that. But like you said, everybody just want to be heard.
Exactly.
And everybody just want to be heard. They just want to be heard. And some people really don't want to be heard, but it's like they got to say something. Because especially like somebody holding them accountable, just going through the book.
It's on the QR code is up there on the workshop. If you scan that QR code, it will actually get you. You send your information over to me, and I can send you detailed information on how to register for the class. The class actually starts on September 12th. Will be our first session of this to really start letting people know it's a safe space. It's someone out there that does hear you, that sees you. And guess what? We know that you're crying, but now you have someone that's sitting there listening.
And what's that phone number?
That phone number is 757-227-0386. And that's how you can reach Dr. Nikia, as well as you can go to my website, which is nikiavoice.com.
You heard it. And if you missed that, you can always contact the Cami Grayson show, SKST Radio O.D.A.R show. You can contact me to get her information, and you can reach. You can contact us at. Can you lift it up a little bit, Cami? Wait a minute. Anyway, I'm pretty sure you see it, but you can contact. You can call Cami. Cami Grayson. You can call SKST. Okay, you can call now at 757-292-6236. You can call me, Cliff Williams, your personal life coach. You can contact the Cami Grayson show, SKST Radio. You can call at 757-391-4352. That's 757-391-4352. And again, if you want to reach Nikki personally, you can contact her at
757-227-0386.
I tell you, it's been a blessing. It's been a blessing and an honor. Healing from the inside out, a transformational workshop. Dr. Nikia-O.D.A.R. She's awesome. She's transparent, and who wants to deal with somebody that isn't transparent? She revealed her whole. Even from jail to molestation, to where she is now. She as a life coach, as a doctor, as a healer, as just God's very own. She's walking the land and doing what she's called to do. It's been a blessing, an honor to have you again, Nikia, and like Dr. Dre said, you got the keys to come back anytime you want. And it's been a blessing.
As well as him running Rise Enterprise Incorporated, where we show people how to reach financial freedom and get the max out of their money. So, hey, if you want to reach him, you can reach that at 757-237-7326. You know what? The only way you can be free. I know we live in the land of the free, but you're not truly free until you're financially free, and that's our slogan.
That's real, and that's real because one thing for sure. Money don't solve every problem,
but it answers everything.
It answers everything. It's for real. It's definitely essential. Even Jesus had a money man with him.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So, yeah.